I mean,
and
right?
Yeah, it worked really well. We were very happy with the product. Gave them to basically friends and family, and then the response was really overwhelming in terms of people saying like, "This is amazing. I want to get another one for my family member or my friend." So we basically just realized we needed to start finding a way to make more of them. And when we did that, we started selling them in our stores, and then that continued to grow. So started selling them online.
My wife and I are probably like the target audience. I was like laughing with Zena. I'm like, we never get rid of any pillows, and we have like 15 different brands of pillows.
Everybody does. There's a closet just stuffed with pillows.
Yeah, and just like we're never going to get rid of them because they were expensive.
Yeah.
But we never really settle on using any one, except for since you gave me the Honeydew pillow, I haven't changed from using it. It's been great. But I have like a different pillow that I'll rotate between 3 or 4 different pillows that I use because I'm a side sleeper and I like my knee supported on my high side knee and stuff like that. And so, I'm always futzing around with that. And then every once in a while, I'll have a night of sleep where, it has been more often lately, where I'll sleep. I track all my sleep. I'm on auto sleep with my watch and everything.
Okay.
And I'll usually like sleep, like good deep sleep cycles for the first 4 to 4.5 hours.
Okay.
And then I'll cycle in and out of kind of light sleep to still sleep, and maybe hit like 1 or 2 more deep cycles.
Gotcha.
The other remaining 4 hours.
Okay, sure.
So my problem is always staying in that still to deep cycle. For say 6.5 straight hours or something like that. But yeah, that
makes sense. Yeah. I've never been a good sleeper. I've grown up essentially in the mattress industry, and with all of these products available to me, and all of my life I've always just been a terrible sleeper. I can't fall asleep. I can't stop my mind from racing, so I just lie awake. Basically, I have a hard time.
You're the cobbler's shoes, man.
I guess. What?
You ever hear that statement?
No.
The cobbler's shoes is like the guy who fixes everybody's shoes in the town always has the worst shoes.
Okay,
So that's the
Well, it wasn't even that. It wasn't that I didn't have
the person who owns a pillow company doesn't sleep well,
Right. Well, that's honestly, I think, where kind of what pushes the pursuit, forward too, is because that's something that I, have always struggled with. And by the time I fall asleep, then I can't get up in the morning because it took me so long to fall asleep that
and then you fall dead asleep from 5 to 6 in the morning or something like that, and then you're going for the coffee to try to get
exactly
away.
Right. Yeah, I drink a lot of coffee and a lot of tea, and and my wife's a terrible sleeper too. And so basically, that's I think kind of just what pushed this to try and improve in whatever way we can all the time. And it also kind of fueled the interest in this stuff. I never thought when I was younger that I would be doing this or working, in a family business, working with my dad, any of that stuff. But
does your dad kind of let you run things over here, he runs things over there?
Yeah, this is basically my operation. He's involved, and my wife is involved, and Alex are involved. And it's basically been the 4 of us kind of from the beginning. Really, Evita and I are the ones who kind of push, the products, or figuring out the products, figuring out the branding type stuff. Alex is really good at the digital arts side, so he makes our website. He helps us design graphic stuff. We'll draw it, and then he'll do it on the computer, stuff like that. But all of us really bring something a little bit unique to the table, I would say. And this is what I do all the time. This is basically what I'm doing full time, which was not the case before this year.
How's it been during COVID? I would think maybe even an uptick. People are home more. Maybe they're focusing on their bedding.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good for Honeydew, right? The brick and mortar businesses, obviously,
like the sleep shops has been tough, right?
Yeah, it's been a challenge, but this has been a good year for us.
That's true. How do you allow people to lay on beds and stuff like that?
Yeah,
you know?
we've got a whole, protocol in place at the stores now. We have disposable mattress guards. You put them down, and then basically the customer carries them with them, and then they, throw them away before they leave, so we don't touch it, and they're not actually on the beds. And same thing for pillows.
Gotcha.
So there's a bunch of stuff in place, but yeah, it's definitely been a challenge, kind of getting used to, this, and also just the fact that the stores were closed for 2 months, because all brick and mortar business was, and middle of March to middle of May, basically. So
how did you and your wife meet?
So we
Or how long have you been married?
high school together, actually.
Oh,
So
wow.
we've been married now for a little over 7 years. We went to high school together, but we didn't date in high school. We went to,
Gotcha.
a school dance, and we were friends, but she was Ryan's friend.
Okay.
He and her basically always kind of were close friends, and they maintained their friendship even after high school. And we never really hung out, certainly not the two of us, and never basically from either of us initiating it, right? Like I'd
Gotcha.
be hanging out with Ryan, and then she'd be around during high school. And then about 10 years ago now, a little over 10 years ago now, I was living with Ryan, and I had moved back from LA. I was living in LA for many years. And I'd moved back, and I moved in with Ryan, and then basically he set us up.
Wow.
He's like, I'm bringing Vita to dinner, and, we're going out. And I was very unhappy with that idea at the moment. I was not into it, and she wasn't either. And it was funny because we had, our relationship is like almost a whole other kind of saga in terms of how it ended up playing out and the stuff that happened. We were in high school, but I literally said to Ryan after we dropped her off from that dinner, I said, I could never be with a girl like that. I could never be with a girl like that. And she had the same impression. She said, I remember she was staying with her parents at the time. She said, I remember going in, and I said to my mom, like, I don't know why I had a crush on Johnny. She's like, it doesn't make any sense to me now. Like, I don't even understand it. And then, here we are. We've been married for 7 years. So.
No, you got to tell the saga. Come on, if there's a saga, that's what this thing's all about.
I know. I wish that she was here for a little bit of it, but
Right. Well, maybe for the next interview.
There
we go. That's fair enough. We'll leave the listeners with something to.
Just because it doesn't always paint me in the most favorable light, and so it's helpful to have.
All right.
When I was younger, I was a little bit, more of a maniac, just as Ryan was, and you can probably tell from the way that he is now, etc. But
yes,
it's helpful to have her there to tell it, because my perspective is, of course, my perspective, and when you're young and stupid,
yeah.
right? But her recollection of that and the impressions that I made on her and Ryan made on her, etc., were different, right? So it softens it a bit. So,
where were you living in LA?
in Hollywood.
Whereabouts?
I went to USC.
Oh, okay.
So I went out of high school to USC, to film school, actually.
Oh, nice.
And I did my, basically time there, and then was living in Hollywood.
Where
right
in Hollywood?
on La Brea and Franklin. Like,
oh, geez.
Basically right there in
Yeah.
Hollywood and Highland.
That's.
Yeah.
We were living at
You out of here? Okay, have a good one. See you tomorrow. All right,
Nice to meet you. Yeah. We were living in Highland and Fountain
Oh yeah.
For-
of course.
Come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
12 years.
Sure,
Yeah. And then we moved to Sherman Oaks, and then now here. Is this your dad?
This is my dad. Yeah.
How are you?
This is Connor. This is Fred.
I'm good. Nice to meet you, Fred.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Nice
Yep.
to meet you too.
Thanks for having me over. And
Sure.
this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're recording, I'll split.
All right.
Okay.
Do you need anything?
No, I don't think so. Let's see if I've got some extra fill before I forget to Connor, but that's not. No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
You shut everything down. You got it.
Yeah, I'll shut it down. I think we're gonna have Connor make a pillow so he can see kind of
Nice.
what it's all about.
You should.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's nice to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah,
So, let me show you where the vacuum is.
yeah. You're gonna make a mess.
Oh,
The
nice.
first time anybody tries, it's challenging to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's more challenging.
You have to
than
have a
you
bit of
expect.
authority, I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it just takes practice.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so I'll go to UPS.
All right.
And to the other one.
Oh, you got the DHL too? Okay, no problem. I got all the post office stuff. I'll take it later. So, yeah.
Okay.
Have a good one.
See you. Nice to meet you, Connor.
Yeah, you as well, Fred.
Yeah, so after college, I was living out there for a while, and then
My wife's a USC film school grad
Is
as well.
she really?
Yeah.
No
yeah.
way.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, theater program.
Okay. Yeah.
She still has an agent and a manager, and she just went and shot something for Netflix.
Oh, very
a couple
cool.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so she still
I
goes
love
out
that.
for some things here and there.
What year was she?
I think she graduated. I'll have to check with her. Might have been like 98 or 99.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then a little bit before me, because I was there 2001 to 2005.
Got you. I graduated Villanova 2001. So you're
Okay.
4 years behind. So you're 36 or 37?
37, yeah.
37, yeah. I'm 41.
Okay.
So we're
yeah, you're my brother's age, basically.
Gotcha.
Exactly the same.
There
Yeah,
you go.
79. Yeah.
79?
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my house that I live in now is built in August of 79, and I'm born in August of 79.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right,
it's
yeah.
kind of funky that we ended up buying a house exactly my age. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can bond with it in a
I
different
know.
way, basically. Yeah.
And my neighbor, Jim, the old guy, maybe you saw him come out once in a while when we would be playing.
Yeah.
He's got the little dog.
He
And
helped you build the
helped me build the
garage
studio.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And when I'm pulling down the drywall, we're pulling down the drywall and getting ready to put the ceiling of the studio proper up,
Yeah.
and isolated away from the joists and everything. And I just look up in the joist and see some handwriting, and I was like, "That'd be cool if that was yours." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's me." And he grabs a piece of like broken drywall, writes exactly the same thing. He's like, "See?" And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
"Oh my God, that's you." And he's like, "Yeah, that was the top plate of this,
Oh, that's so
probably
cool.
end of July of '79 that we were cutting it down in the park and then sending it over here."
Oh, wow.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah, you built my house.
Yeah, and then there he is right next door. Probably stuff that he was working on is right there in his as well, right?
Totally. Oh, yeah.
Same
Yep.
development, right?
Same development,
time, yeah.
and he's like, I knew this was going to be my house, so mine's a little over-engineered.
Okay,
It's like
okay.
doubled up everything, all
Sure.
the joists and studs and everything. His house is
Nice.
very, very solid. So
Excellent. Yeah. That's so cool.
yeah. So you were right there, Franklin and La Brea, like
Yep.
right up there by the pizza shop that I used to go to.
Yeah,
There's
that's
that little-
so I was on Sycamore, which is like 2 blocks
Yeah, I know Sycamore.
east. So yeah,
Yep.
I was.
It's like Orange and then Sycamore, I think, or
Yeah.
Sycamore and Orange.
No, well, I think Orange is past Sycamore. I
Yeah.
can't remember what the one anyway. But
Yeah.
you know exactly there.
Oh, yeah.
And I was there between Franklin and Hollywood, basically right there.
Wow,
in
that's
Sycamore.
fun.
Yeah, for a number of years, and I loved it out there. When I was in college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up acting in the theater. I love theater and music, of course. And I grew up basically acting. And I like technical things. I was the type of kid who was always taking everything apart to see how it worked, that sort of thing. And when I was in high school and trying to figure out what to do, I just kind of thought I should, acting is a tough thing. Maybe I should do film because, it kind of brings my love of the entertainment industry and marries it with the technical side, all of the equipment. So I'll apply to film school. That's what I'll do. And so I applied to film schools and I got into USC's film school. And if you get into USC's film school, you go to USC's film school, and
Yes,
it was
you do.
an awesome experience. But I could tell, I think, after a couple of years, because it's takes you a little bit before you actually really get into the film program. And at that time, I could kind of tell it wasn't what I was really passionate about. So my favorite times in college were acting in the student films that all of my friends and roommates were doing rather than the student films that I was making, which I still, enjoyed doing, but it just wasn't the same. I didn't
So you
like
went there
it
for
as
film
much.
school, but ended up acting a ton.
I acted, I did. I acted certainly in far more projects than I made in film
Gotcha.
school. Yeah, and I played music. I did a lot of music with my friends, and those were the two things that I was really passionate about. So then I graduated, and I couldn't really figure out what the hell to do because the job offers I was getting were things that I wasn't super excited about. and there wasn't, that industry is really a freelance world, as you know from Xena doing it. My sister is a production designer, and her boyfriend's in the special effects world, and they, are constantly. Well, my sister, and